Hi everybody. I want to talk about a form of emotional and psychological abuse known as gaslighting, which is the deliberate attempt to destabilize another person's perception of reality. It is a particularly insidious form of abuse because it attacks the core of an individual's safety and security, which is their ability to discern truth. The term arises out of a 1940s movie called Gaslight, which was set in Victorian England when houses were lit by gas lamps. And the story revolves around a guy who deliberately tries to drive his wife out of her mind and into an institution so he can take possession of her house and the jewels that he believes are hidden in the attic, unbeknown to her. And one of the things that messes with her mind is that when he's secretly looking for these jewels, he causes the lights in the house to dim and then come back up again. And she notices this, brings it to his attention, but he says, no, never happened. You're just imagining things again. Hence the term gaslighting, deliberately causing another person to doubt the reality of their experience. Now, as a form of abuse, gaslighting is a gradual process that involves a variety of different deceptive tactics that can include guilt tripping, hiding information, maligning somebody's reputation behind their back, deliberately forgetting significant dates and appointments, playing the victim. The list goes on and on and on, and all in an attempt to destroy an individual's self-confidence, their decision-making, their opinions, so that they can no longer trust their own judgment. Now, because gaslighting is such a deceptive form of abuse, it can be difficult to recognize and pinpoint. But gaslighters are the type of people who will say cruel things and then accuse you of being overly sensitive. They will do deceptive and suspicious things and then accuse you of jumping to conclusions. They may flirt with members of the opposite sex in front of you and then accuse you of being jealous. They may make cruel jokes at your expense and then accuse you of lacking a sense of humor. Solomon talks about the man who deceives his neighbor and then says, "I was only joking." Well, no, they weren't. They're deadly serious. They make statements and promises and then later on claim that no, they never said that. They can take your innermost fears and your deepest secrets and use them against you to manipulate you. They can take your compassion and use that as a weapon against you to guilt trip you into doing what they want. They have a tendency to rewrite history, to make things seem like your memory is unreliable. And again, the list goes on and on and on and on. Like all forms of abuse, gaslighting is about power and control. And the aim is to get the victim to become emotionally and psychologically dependent on the abuser. Because if they can't trust their own judgment, whose judgment are they going to trust? As far as the abuser is concerned, it's all about them because they know best. So gaslighting is dangerous on so many different levels, including the spiritual level. Because anything that adversely affects our ability to perceive truth can potentially affect our ability to understand who God is and how He operates in our lives. That's what we see in the Garden of Eden. It is no coincidence that the tactics used by gaslighters are a reflection of what took place in the Garden of Eden, where the enemy was able to twist the truth to the point where Eve no longer had confidence in her knowledge of who God was. So what can we do about gaslighting? Well, the first thing is recognize it. Educate yourself on the tactics, because once you recognize the patterns, you can begin to break the cycle. Once you recognize the patterns, you can call out the abuser and let them know that they've been rumbled. You're not going to tolerate that behavior anymore, and you can put in the protective boundaries you need in order to guard against the abuse. Broaden your circle of friends, your support network, because one of the things that the gaslighter relies on is isolation, so that you're only getting one perspective, that of the abuser. But if you can widen your support network, you can get different perspectives on who you are as a person from people who really care about who you are. Keep a record, keep a diary or a journal, because then that can help you to keep things straight in your mind about what's happening in your relationship. And in the event that things go down the legal route, you've got a record of a history of coercive control that you can use. Look after yourself spiritually, physically, eat well, exercise, do the things that make your heart sing so that you don't have to rely on the abuser for your sense of self-worth. And finally, get God's perspective on who you are. We are the apple of his eye. I like the way Ellen White puts it. She says that we are the object of his supreme regard. You know, if we were the only people on the planet that messed up, he would still die for us. And that's the kind of truth that we need to hold on. So in the face of all the deceptive wiles of the gaslighter, hold on to the truth, because it is the truth that will set you free. God bless you.